Rachel with Feiro, and today we are here to do part one of our microsafari, how to build a at-home magnifying glass. So I'm going to give everyone a few minutes to join us, and for those already with us, you can maybe look for some supplies to join me. So today with our at-home magnifying glass, we're going to use items that hopefully everybody has already in their house. So our magnifying glass is going to be made out of a soup container, a Tupperware. It can be, mine is clear, doesn't have to be clear. It could be a yogurt container, a cream cheese, anything that is pretty thin that we can cut through. We'll also want a marker, some scissors to cut with, a rubber band, and some plastic wrap. So for our magnifying glass, we are going to cut a hole in the bottom of this container. We'll use that hole. It needs to be as wide as an item. So we're going to stick our items that we want to look at into the base of this container. So I have repurposed a 1/2 of a greeting card to use as my slider to put into this container to view on. We can cut it in half. So I'm gonna cut that in half now. So we have half, it has a blank side, so we can view our item on. And then I'm going to outline the width of that onto this container using my marker. And it doesn't have to be perfect, as long as it's wide enough to be inserted into. It may be a little bit taller too, so if you have an item that's a little bit taller, it won't get pushed off. And if it's a little too small at first, you can always cut it, the opening, a little bit bigger. So there's my outline. And I'm going to use a box cutter to cut it, just because I think it'll be a little bit easier for me than scissors. Any kids that are watching, make sure you ask your adult at home for help with this step. Ooh, sorry for the noise. Now that I have it started with my box cutter, I'm going to use scissors to make it a little smoother. So it's not the prettiest hole, but it will work. And I just want to test, oh, my measuring was not very good. My paper does not fit. So we'll try it again. Oh, my film is sideways. I do not. This is my first time doing live, so I'm not totally sure how to fix a sideways film. My mount doesn't allow me to switch my phone. It doesn't fit it going the other direction. Let me think on a way to address that issue. Okay, so I've enlarged my hole here, and now it's large enough to fit my slider into. So our next step is going to be taking some plastic wrap here, and if you can get a small piece, you want it large enough to cover the top where it can be pressed down just a little bit. So I have a pre-cut square here, so I'm going to put it over the top, press it down a little bit, and we're going to use our rubber band to hold that plastic wrap in place. So once the rubber band's on, you can press it down just a little bit. So now we have our plastic wrap covered dish with a small depression on it. So once you have that depression and the plastic wrap is secure with a rubber band, you are going to fill that with water. And so the water, we're gonna wait for a couple of those bubbles to go away. And when you want to use this magnifying glass, you're going to put an item onto this piece of cardboard and slide it into your hole that you made, and the water sitting on top of this, on the saran wrap, will enlarge that image. So I'm going to get a coin that got moved. So I have my nickel here, and I'm going to try and move the camera very slowly to demonstrate how this will work. Maybe for this part I can rotate my phone. Hopefully this now is a little easier, so you can see my, actually I'm going to flip my camera, that will be easier. You can see my cup here and my nickel on my sheet. So I'm going to slide, sorry it's a little shaky, I'm going to slide that nickel into that, and you can see how, oh, hopefully I don't lose it. Maybe we'll put it a little farther down. You can see how once it's in the center, it looks larger. And we can use this on Wednesday. If you join me on Wednesday at 1 o'clock, so tomorrow, we're going to go outside for a little microsafari. So we can use this magnifying glass that we just made to look at items that we find outside. So maybe some little insects or leaves, anything that we want to maybe take a little closer look at. And if you don't have a magnifying glass at home, you now have all the tools to make one. So thanks for joining, and I hope that everybody is able to join me tomorrow at 1 o'clock here again on Facebook Live for for our micro safari outside.